He corrected me yesterday because I said I was kind of tired. And he says, kind of? Mom, you either are tired or you aren't. And I said, you're right. I guess I'm tired. But there is no kinda. No kinda. I'm trying to remove that from my vocabulary.
Oh my God, speaking of,
What?
so those kids that I had in here the other day,
Yeah, you're on air, by the way.
I know. There was a break.
Caution.
The amount of times that they say like
Oh, it's awful, isn't it?
blew me
So
away.
I don't know how often I say it. I try not to say it often,
I
but
started counting though,
in,
because
it
I get all-
inevitably comes out, and you do end up using those words. Just like I try not to do either. Like, kinda.
Yeah, man.
We're adults. We should have clear thoughts. We shouldn't be sitting in this. I don't know. In this,
It's all about your lexicon, girl.
my lexicon.
Whoa.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, hot stuff. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy today. I'm
Whoa.
like, whoa, yeah.
Whoa. Why? Cause
I mean, I'm
'cause
always happy, but I
leaving?
always but today I got a little spark of sunshine going. I don't know, maybe it's the palm trees in the
Ouch,
background
sorry.
back there. Maybe it's because
It's all you, girl.
oh, it's just me?
I don't know.
No, we got to change that up. We'll
Drew in the morning.
Man, yeah, mm-hmm.
we'll get to
Hell
it.
yeah.
I don't know what that was. I was waiting for you to break out in song or something.
What were you talking about? Yeah.
No, just
yes.
that
Likes and ums.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to listen to when you're listening to somebody else. It's hard to listen to, but when we're speaking, it's very easy to do.
Yeah, man. So I had a bunch of the studio got used this weekend. Wow, man, that's loud. Let me turn it down a little bit. The studio got used this weekend for. We had a high school student who was doing a project who was interviewing children, other teenagers, other high school students about the effects of social media on them in their day-to-day lives and in their day-to-day routines. And it was really, really cool. I was able to help them out in a pinch, which was pretty neat. They came in and they recorded, and there was one girl who interviewed, I think, 6 people total. Mm-hmm. And asked them a whole bunch of questions, and they were from all the different schools here in McAllen, and it was really fascinating to hear what they did. I think if I understood the assignment correctly, she came up with a list of 10 questions and provided it to the students, and they got to choose the 2 questions that they wanted to answer, and then she asked them, okay, well, which ones, 5 and 7 or whatever, and then she asked them the questions, and they were prepared to answer them. They had thought about it. And their answers were totally shocking. Not shocking in the sense that it was unexpected, but shocking in the sense that it's absolutely everything that every piece of research that I've read says.
Well, I was going to comment and say
that was really cool.
That it is really interesting to hear that they recognize themselves that
Yeah.
social media plays a role on their mental health, that they see it, and that they are trying to do things to curb it, because it sounded through that interview. Yeah, well, like the distractions with studying, right? What we have to do in order to get
That was so
through
crazy.
it.
They were talking about, one of the kids was talking about how he had deleted TikTok because he knew that during the week leading up, he said that in finals, that's when he started using it a whole lot. But leading into the week, or going into the work week after the weekend, he knew that he would procrastinate and get very easily distracted using social media. So
Right.
during the week, he took it upon himself to delete TikTok because he said, there's no way I'm going to finish my work if I'm going to continue to use this stuff. And it was really cool. And when he left, I said, man, I hope my kids
I hope they can,
hope they can harness that.
self-regulate that way.
self-regulate. Yeah,
And that's
was
such a
the
powerful
term.
word in itself, because do you self-regulate?
It depends on what.
Okay. Well, I mean, I try to self-regulate with like food, right?
Yeah,
I try
yeah.
not to overeat on the bad stuff, indulge on the things that could potentially hurt.
Oh, look,
right?
I
We
need to
try
turn the camera a little bit because you can only see half of you and you're the pretty one.
try to do it in moderation. So self-regulating is such a, I don't know, like that's a quality I'd like to improve on. Whether it's self-regulating with even bad people, right? Like how do we keep ourselves from
Get that good karma up.
being around?
Get those haters out.
Yeah, or not haters. I don't think I know any haters. And
Those
if I
anchors,
do, I
those
don't.
emotional anchors.
What are you, Taylor Swift this morning?
Oh my God! Speaking of, did you see the shady champagne drink last night? When
I did.
when they're, you know,
So when we were watching the Golden Globes,
That
I'll
poor
say that
dude.
we did watch it. The comedian, I mean, it was funny. It was okay. It's as good as it's going to be. But I do think it's interesting how all the Swiftie fans come out to defend, and they love her. The love for her is amazing.
yeah, but no, the guy made a joke, and it was funny because in part of the, I guess part of the part that people didn't listen to was when he said, "Hey man, I got this job 10 days ago." He's like, "And the jokes that I'm telling, you guys are laughing at the ones that I wrote. You're not laughing at the ones that they wrote." And so when he said that joke about Taylor Swift, he's like, "I didn't write that one."
Poor guy.
He got grilled.
Well,
I have
either
no
way,
idea
it's
who he
it's
is.
a hard job to have.
Do you know who he is?
No,
I've
No,
never heard of this
heard
person before.
But well, whatever. He took a chance and he went out there, and that is what it's all about, Drew. In 2024, we are going to take chances. We're going to put ourselves out there, and we're going to try new things. We're
And
going to be
he is
accepting,
getting grilled for it. The
accepting
internet.
of the uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, but it's one thing
Hey, but everybody's talking about him now, and if you didn't know his name before, you do now.
Okay, but would you hire him? Be like, I'm gonna go hire that guy.
He wasn't that bad.
But he bombed. Taylor Swift appears to be unamused after a Golden Globes joke.
So isn't
Golden
it
Globes
all?
host roast
Isn't
Harry
it
and
all
Meghan.
press is good press?
You don't roast the royal family, dude.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how
And
far
Taylor Swift. My favorite was the Harrison Ford reaction. He said some joke. They zoomed in on Harrison Ford. He's looking at him like, dude, really?
My favorite was Kevin Costner.
Oh, get out of here. He sounded real different. He sounded real.
He sounded like he didn't really want to be there, but he looks good.
Yeah.
And he's the ripe old age of 75.
Jesus Christ.
He's a handsome man, Drew.
Oh my God. I totally had a moment yesterday. I was talking to a friend of ours at breakfast, and it's his birthday's on Wednesday. And I said, yeah, well, the internet said your birthday was last week. He goes, I don't tell the internet the truth. Are you kidding me? I thought that was pretty good. That's a whole different conversation. But then he's like, well, he says, when's your birthday this year? And I said, September. He says, how old are you? I said, 47. I go, oh my God, dude, 47. That's old. He goes, you're old. I'm like, that is old.
You're older than me.
There's nothing young about 47.
But you're going to be 47. You're not quite there yet. Give yourself a
I'm
little,
already-
give yourself a moment to get there.
I'm getting my head into it.
Well,
right
my
now.
birthday's coming up in February, and we're not talking about how old I am.
How young you are.
Oh,
27.
Forever 27. 27 was a good one.
Man, you know what happened this week? Speaking of people of different ages,
What?
a 13-year-old made history. This is what's blowing up on the internet. So, we did the show last week,
Okay.
Friday, Thursday, whatever
I feel
it was.
like I had a bunch of thoughts, and you just kind of derailed them.
Oh.
Per my morning.
Go. What are your thoughts?
No, it's just past now. Go on to your 13-year-old.
No,
Maybe it'll
man.
come back
Go ahead.
to me.
No, that's all right.
No, I think I was going to just talk a little bit about the inspiration that I had behind me this morning.
What did you dream about?
No, I didn't dream about anything. I just really wanted to finish that thought about all of us being able to control what we put forth, right? We can't be responsible for other people's actions. We're only responsible for our own. And what we choose to do with them is like the output that could change everything that we hate about our day, or everything that we hate about our year, or everything that we hate about our lives. And so just feeling a little inspired this morning by friends that have taken the bull by the horns and have decided to make changes, and that's been really cool to watch and see. And I'm excited. Everything. I mean, if you've decided that you don't like your job and you want to change it, if you decided you want to go to school, now's the time, right? Like, what are we waiting for? We're getting old.
Who changed their job?
No one changed their job. Just someone has just decided to change her life, and I think that that's incredible. Right? We don't like something. Let's change it. What don't you like? Name one thing you don't like that we can change. I can tell you one simple thing.
Oh, I want $5 million.
Okay, well, you're going to change. You're going to change a lot of things, and you're going to get your $5
And
million.
let me be clear. Let me be clear. This is. I want $5 million. I don't have $5 million. I'm not close to having $5 million in my hand.
Right.
It's, to me, that's a number that's like way out there.
You want, like,
That's not,
you want it in the bank
because I
account.
said that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
said that the other day, and someone looked at me, and they're like, "Well, what do you have, like 3?" And I'm like, "No."
But you're not talking about assets. You're just
Yeah,
talking
but
about
hold-
like cash in the bank.
It's not like I've got a stat. It's not like I've got
Yeah.
a Scrooge McDuck. I'm like, I want $5 million more. No, I want I would love to go from 0 to 5 million this year.
Right.
I would like to open a brand new bank account
And
with nothing in it and figure out how to earn $5 million
That just goes in there.
in the bank account. Not
I like
5
it.
million, not 5 million earned after
Right.
you know,
Not
taxes
and not assets, not things you've
No.
accumulated.
5 million. Oh,
Just
5 million,
cash.
milli.
Yeah.
Why
do
not?
it.
That's a good number, right? 3.
I
I'll
mean,
take 3.
I'll take one.
Fuck it,
Disposable income for
Someone give me-
sure.
I'll take $100. Anyway,
But
how quickly?
okay, well, mine was a little more attainable. Mine was like, you know what?
Hold on. I had one of the best questions. My buddy DJ E from V asked me a question one time,
Hey, you
and
know
he
what's-
stopped me dead in my tracks when he asked me something. I said something like, I was talking about Wi-Fi stand, how we started, and I said, you know, this guy says, well, you'll never make $1 million doing it. And you know what he asked me? Why not? I was like, because this and this and this. He's like, no. Why not? Why can't you make $1 million doing that? Why can't I make $5 million this year? What's stopping me from making 5? Is it, morals?
You know what? Is it morals? Is it that maybe the
No, I'm
OnlyFans
serious.
is
I'm
going to get
serious.
blocked?
Like what?
No, I think the power is in your hands. I think that you can. I think that is I think it's an amazing reach. And for someone who has done fundraising for years and has to go out there and ask, do it. Figure it out.
So
No more excuses. Figure it
so
out.
when you
You
break it
said
down-
something. You said something really cool. You said, "I want to open a brand new bank account and I want to take it from 0 to 5 million."
Yeah,
Do it.
I should do it.
I think that's. I think it's incredible, right? Like something that doesn't affect whatever else is going on, right? Like we have our day to day, we have our stuff, but if this is completely separate and it's a funnel that you want to put stuff into, figure it out.
Man,
I'm never going to tell you no.
$33,000 a day is what that comes down to.
Okay, well, can we talk about my attainable, like my little attainable? Yours is going to take a month or two. Or
See,
6.
Ray says I
or
can
6
do
years.
it. Ray says you can do it.
I believe you. Mine was when I take something to the dry cleaners, I want to be punctual and pick it up. Do you know how long my dry cleaning was there this last time?
Our dry cleaning.
Our dry
Do
cleaning?
people still use dry cleaners?
Yes, the stack of clothes in the back of my car right now
The only
proves to you
reason
that I do.
but the only reason I even did anything is because you took it over. I guess
Yeah.
I don't wear fancy enough clothes. I
Well,
need to
or
take
maybe
a
you
day
just
clean
don't
it
care if
all.
your clothes are ironed or
That's not true. I love.
I hate
clothes.
ironing.
You
I
don't
hate
iron.
ironing. I don't iron.
Yeah.
I don't iron. I don't wash clothes. But listen,
Go.
so I as much effort as I put into doing something, I want to also finish it. Does that make sense? Because sometimes I get a whole lot of things started and then I'm in a frenzy everywhere and I don't finish things. Why are you laughing? Is it an accurate description? Would you say that's
Yes, yes.
that's pretty on?
That's one of the things that I learned about me when we started our business, when we started Frontera, was follow through. I'm really good at setting things up. I'm really good at connecting. I'm really good at getting the ball going, getting the resources together to get something going. It's the follow through that's where there's people that are way better at follow through than I am.
Right.
That is my weak point. And if I can find people that can carry the follow through on,
Like you're great at getting it started, but you need someone to come and close it.
yeah. That's why
Because you get so excited.
I do.
I see it.
I've got so many projects right now. I'm so excited about.
I know, and I love to see you so
And they're all
excited,
so
but I
good.
also get so overwhelmed because I'm like, he's so excited about it now, but like in 3 weeks, he may not be this excited about it.
All it takes is like one little thing to poo poo it. That's what I've
Yeah,
noticed
and then
about
you get-
myself.
and then you
like,
can,
yeah,
like-
so excited. And I see one thing, I'm like, well, never mind. Like I was building that little thing. I was like, I'm building it. And I saw someone had done something similar. I was like, oh.
So are you done? Because it
No.
costs money to do that.
No, now I'm just
You'll be
waiting for the other person.
You can't be half-assing projects.
Yeah, no, this other person I'm waiting on the design to come through. I'm super excited.
It's gonna happen. I believe in you, babe. It's gonna happen.
Oh my god, dude. All weekend.
Anyway, but that was it. I wanted to start off with the week with a little inspiration. A little
Yeah, man.
inspiration moving forward. Like we are capable of changing things that we do not like
That's right.
or want. We're
Yeah.
also capable of harnessing and removing relationships. if
Oh,
need
dude,
be.
I'm totally cool with removing. Like that's the whole toxic people mentality, like cleaning out your Facebook.
You
and
know, I
whatnot.
don't like saying toxic people. I don't like saying that. I think that there's just moments in time, moments in our lives. If I go back to my seasonal metaphor, it's that.
Hold on, where's your Stanley Cup?
My Stanley Cup? I don't have it. I'm using your cup today. but I think that there's people who are meant to be there for a certain amount of time or for a specific amount of time, and then it kind of just fades out. And then the people that have been there forever consistently will always be there, but people come in and out.
So how do you know when people are temporary?
You don't. I think so. I don't know, and I feel like that's the beauty of life and relationships and people, is that I treat everybody the same. Like, if I love you, I love you. If we're going out and we're doing this, we're doing this. And I truly value people's time, and I
But friendships
hope that they
fall
value
apart.
mine. But
Friendships
sometimes
fall
there are
apart, though.
friendships that fall apart, and we can't control that.
Do they ever get back together?
Sometimes they
trying
do.
to think of.
I don't know if it ever mends the way that you want it to, but I think that there's definitely, I was, when we were younger and maybe partying all the time, we had a different set of friends than we do now.
Yeah, those are party friends.
And that just. And it doesn't mean that we don't all still love each other. It just means we're not in the
true.
same.
Oh my
we're not
God,
in the same path anymore.
We were at Walmart buying all of the Feastables things that we could find.
You're right.
I'm such a Mr. Beast fan. I don't even know. Low key fanboy.
We have lots of Feastables. Lots of them.
I went to Walmart, neighborhood Walmart, and I was like, "Oh, dude, they've
Is that
got
the
the
only
cookies."
place they sell them?
Yeah. They've got the cookies. They've got the sours. And so I took the kids. I was like, "Come on, we're gonna go on a Feastables run." And I ran into someone who I hadn't seen. Dude, I can't even tell you the last time I saw him. And it was so good to see this person. And we were walking separate ways on the aisle. I stopped and I looked at him. I did like the little puppy dog. And he did the same thing. He goes, "Drew." And
Aw,
I
that's
gave him
a
a
good feeling.
huge hug. And man, it was just like, I told the kids, I said, I remember that guy's wedding, man. And I said, that is one of the most genuine, honestly good people you will ever meet in your entire life. And he is just such a great person. And it was so good to see him and just get a hug from that person. And it was like, I don't even know the last time I saw him, 20 years ago.
And so let me ask.
But in that moment, it was just like we both recognized that there was an old friendship there. And
Yeah.
there's lots of love there. And then we went our separate ways.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal.
And there's no desire to continue to see that person?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, you know what I mean? But
I'm
it's
just saying, like,
but,
what
well,
shifts?
What I'm
Like,
saying
what-
is,
like,
yeah,
what-
so life shifts,
Right.
that's someone that, but even then it was a really good friendship. I mean, we never had a sleepover at each other's house, you know what I
Right.
mean? But we always ran the same circles, we always knew the same people. But it's like I've got another friend, a childhood friend, who reached out and said, "Hey man, let's reconnect." I was like, "Yes, dude, absolutely." But it's just one of those things where life goes in different directions, and you don't have, like you said, you're not in that same season.
Yeah, I know you always laugh at me in my seasons, but it's true.
It's just a different part of life.
And I think that there is so much beauty, right? When you do bump into somebody and you're just like, you pick up exactly where you left off, and
Yeah, man.
you don't miss a beat. Oh, I've got childhood friends like that I don't see them all the time, and unfortunately, we don't live close to each other. But when we do see each other, it's you pick up exactly where you
dude.
left off, and life is good for that moment, and then
That's
you
it.
go back your separate ways, and that's just what it is. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't think so either.
No,
I don't think everybody has to be besties.
No, and then you've got, and even sometimes even with your little inner circles, you've kind of, sometimes life gets in the way.
Ebbs and flows. Yeah, man. I agree.
And some of us are just at different paces.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's it. Yay to 2024 and changing what we don't like or what does not serve us.
Now, Tetris has long been touted as a video game that just can't be beaten because it just goes
Listen
on
to this.
and on.
Tetris.
Yeah.
It has it's a game. You remember the game Tetris?
Yes, of course.
And so what happened is the way that they programmed it would just allow it to continue and just get faster and faster and faster. But there's this point in Tetris where it gets so fast that it just becomes like a stamina game. Like how can you move the blocks as quickly as you possibly can to get them in order without it stacking up?
Right.
So a 13-year-old last week for the first time beat Tetris.
Oh my god!
Well, 13-year-old American Willis Gibson has technically proven that wrong. He beat the original Nintendo version of the game by reaching such a high level that the coding froze. That left the program unable to generate any more falling blocks.
It's a big deal.
That's incredible.
Hold on.
Okay.
that in and of itself is great. The entire internet is so excited for this kid, and there's obviously a backstory.
Right.
But before I tell you the backstory, let me just let this news clip finish, and don't agree or disagree. Just listen to what this lady says.
Okay.
As a mother, I would just say step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. Speaking of fresh air,
This is what this lady says. What she doesn't know is that,
Yeah.
is that the kid's dad passed away a week ago, and it was him and his dad that would play it, and he became hyperfixated on Tetris, basically as a form of grief, and he dedicated the win to his dad. Yeah. So that lady's getting dragged.
Yeah, well, I was going to say she totally peed in his Wheaties. Like, it was unnecessary. I mean, regardless of how I feel about video games, it was still an accomplishment. And yeah. Whoa, what about all the feels this morning?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I know. I dropped our little kiddo off at school, and I just watched him walk. I'm going out of town. So I'm going out of town.
I was
today,
going to say this.
which is never,
Explain what's going on.
which is never easy, no matter what.
You're so
Especially after
emotional
you
this
spend
morning.
weeks and weeks and weeks on end with your kids. You don't want to go out of town. It's like,
Yeah.
it's so quick. And then,
Or you do want to go out of town. I want to go out of town. You're all emotional about it. I'm like, welcome
No.
the break.
No. I mean, it's just, it's
I know
the
what you're saying.
day-to-day stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And
you're going to be out of town for a long time this time.
But it caught me this morning because I was like, dude, I was sad. I was like a little sad. I was like, man, I'm not gonna see him. I'm gonna miss out on their lives for 2 weeks. And I told him I'll FaceTime you, and he goes, you better. And he shuts the door in my face. And then he just like carried on and like walked into class, and it was such a stark difference than if I wouldn't have spent quality time with him over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like imagine, like there was no dragging it out. There was no nothing. It's like, all right. I mean, he's used to us going in, in and out of town. So it was really cool. It was a good moment with him this morning. It was sad, but
I always
have you seen the Tetris movie? No, not yet. I haven't seen
I
the
always
Tetris
take that
movie.
as a really good note when they don't drag it out, when it's not like a screaming.
Well, that was the thing.
A screaming situation. They feel confident and
Us
comfortable.
leaving is
and
healthy.
And us, I mean, I don't know. You're leaving for a long time this time, and you're not following the rules. So we have rules of travel, and the rules of travel are being broken.
They are,
trip.
but this happens from time to time. Different circumstances arise and give us opportunities to do things. We will be our anniversary, our 13-year
Can everyone
anniversary.
see my face? I'm like, can you just look at me? Mhm.
Listen, our 13-year anniversary is on Thursday.
It is.
And we traditionally go to Vegas in and around this time.
We do.
Because there's a big electronics show that I go to, and we got married at the same time
Yes.
in Vegas. Not by accident. It was
Not
cool.
by accident. No.
Anyway, but there's this huge show that I got invited to come and participate in by a pretty well-known organization, and they said, we want you there. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to miss an opportunity, not just for me professionally and with the stuff I'm doing with the podcast, with Waves and all these other things, but also for Wi-Fi stand. We're putting 8 of our units down there, and we're going to be front and center.
No, I know it's a great
It's a
opportunity.
great opportunity.
I just don't like the travel on
I
weekend.
am breaking the rules, though.
You are breaking the rules.
But
You're
it's
breaking the
okay
travel
because
rules.
I'm going to go to a jazz club with some friends
Uh,
from down here. It'll be just like I'm home.
well,
And
I
you-
won't be there.
You get a little break.
I get a break. A much needed break. No, I think it's fine. The travel's always it's difficult to get back into the grind of it, but it is what it is. It's what we know.
Yeah, but so I leave today. You leave tomorrow. You're joining me out there. You're going to be in Vegas
Yeah,
with me for
I mean,
4
I'll see
days.
you.
3 days.
3 days. I'll be there on Tuesday. I come back on Friday.
37 degrees. Can't
It's
wait.
so
for some
cold.
weather.
Yeah, well, we won't spend any
so
time
we were at a
outside,
birthday
though.
party. Oh man, shout out to that taqueria from that birthday party yesterday. I don't
yeah,
even
that
know
was
who it
good.
was. Robbie, tell me who they were. They were great.
They were good.
You know, and they had the coolest little. I love looking at ways that people do things creatively and think, how the hell did they come up with that? Did you notice the little taqueria, the little cart that they had there, the little taco cart? It's this design. I've seen it before, but I've never stopped
It's
to
like the
look.
dome.
It's a dome,
Yeah.
and it makes so much sense. Like you don't even have to ask them why the dome is there. You just get it. So to describe it, if you've never seen it, imagine a flat piece of stainless steel or a flat piece of metal with this big bubble in the middle, like this dome, like R2-D2's head. And what they do is they dip the corn tortillas in the oil and they put them on top of the dome, and then all the oil runs off the dome back into the bottom. And it's such a great sustainable idea. Like they use as little oil as possible. I was like, I looked at it, I go, man, I wonder who came up with that. And then the guy's like, he tells me in Spanish, no, sir, it's a dome, and that's because the oil goes. I was like, I understand why it's happening.
I'm thinking is you got to get your ass in the kitchen more.
What?
You need to get in the kitchen more.
Why?
Start cooking something.
I'm going to cook up $5 million.
On a dome.
Cook up some rocks.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I don't know where to go with that.
Go pookie on you. Anyway, yeah, that was like, I was like, there's so many incredible things that are invented every day that you think there's a patent on that dome. I wonder if there's a patent.
I don't know. Now's not the time to look for it, though.
Whatever. Anyway.
No.
I'm
Okay,
just
so
saying
you're leaving out of town. You're going to...
but it was cold was my point. It was cold yesterday.
Yes, it's going to be cold out there, too, and it's going to be really cold in New York. So
And the Cowboys won.
Did they?
They did.
I wasn't paying attention. But I was totally decked out in Cowboys gear.
We went to a sports ball birthday
A
party.
sports ball birthday party. It was fun. I don't think we ever really watch. We're not a football household. Doesn't happen often. No sports ball for us. No, you do watch a lot of baseball. You watch a lot of baseball. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
What else? You want to talk about some exciting stuff?
I'm staying quiet.
No.
What kind of exciting stuff?
What?
Oh no, I see what you're loading. I see what you're
This is
loading.
pretty good. This one's pretty good. You ready?
That didn't work. They had an almost $1 billion cost overrun on the magnetic elevators. Think of it, magnets. Now, all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets. What?
What?
What is he talking about? There's so much
I've
that
been
man
laughing.
says that just doesn't make any sense.
In all fairness, it's not just him. You get older.
And you forget how magnets work? Like,
it's not, I mean, everyone says goofy things, but this, I was like, man,
oh,
that's
you
so
want to know what I
good.
do want to
It's
talk
like
about?
magnets? I didn't know all you needed to do is pour water on magnets and they quit working.
You can't, like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so no magnets, but I do want to talk about everybody that's associated with the Jeffrey Epstein.
Let me drop it on the
Are they-
magnets. That's the end of the magnets.
Are they immediately canceled? Like, what is happening? Why is Jimmy
No.
Kimmel up in arms?
So Jimmy Kimmel's not up in arms because of that. Jimmy Kimmel is up in arms because some sports ball person said that something like, well, Jimmy Kimmel's name is going to be on that list when it comes out. And
he was
like,
making
yo,
a
he's
tasteless
like,
joke.
Hey, totally. And
But he makes jokes all the time.
no, it wasn't Jimmy Kimmel. It was some sports ball guy that said it.
He made the joke
Aaron
about
Rodgers
Jimmy.
or somebody
Yeah, he made
said
the
it.
joke about Jimmy Kimmel.
Maybe it wasn't Aaron Rodgers. I don't know who it was. I don't know all these people.
Whatever.
But he made a joke, and Jimmy Kimmel's like, and the thing about it is you say something like that, and that's it. That's all it takes.
Right.
And so he's like, if you want to continue joking, our lawyers can meet in court and figure it out, because you can't just say that. Like when you're at that level and you've got a microphone in front of you, you can't say things like that. I mean, we can. Nobody listens.
That's hard though. That's kind of that's a hard line, because I think he makes jokes about all sorts of things that are slanderous.
But you don't say things like, this person's name is on the list, and that's what was said. Look, let me give you the quote. Hold
So
on.
he was just making a statement. He wasn't necessarily making a joke.
He said, Jimmy Kimmel threatens to sue Aaron Rodgers after quarterback links him to Jeffrey Epstein. He says, quote, "You are reckless with your words, or your reckless words put my family in danger." Yeah. For the record, I've not met, flown with, visited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name on any list other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft-brained wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality.
Well, I think everybody's freaking out is kind of what the sense is that I'm getting.
Well, because
If your name is on that list, if you have been associated, you're automatically kind of canceled, right? Like you've been
well, he
hanging out
said
with
there's a lot of people,
known
including
pervert.
Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't come out. That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So
alluding
that's
that he would
to
be
him. Yeah.
that he would be part of it.
So, but the thing is that it's not everyone expected to just be a list like, here's a list of the perverts. It wasn't. It was conversations. It was people's names that were brought up in conversation
Right.
saying,
But so those
have you
people's
had any
names
contact?
can be
No, it's not a list.
Right.
It's like a court. It's like if they said, have you ever met Jessica Lentz?
Right.
Now all of a sudden your name is mentioned in the court documents, so you must be associated with it somehow. So that's what's happening. There's a lot of stuff that's on there, but some of them have been like, what? Stephen Hawking? Like, what?
You did see that documentary, right? The Epstein documentary?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah. It was all pretty
So seeing the people that are on there is,
interesting.
yeah. Then there's, I won't pick on church, but there's a funny picture I saw this morning where it shows the Pope blessing Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, God.
And someone's comment was like, "Oh, great! Now the Catholic Church is going to be associated with pedophiles."
Not funny.
It was funny. I mean, not funny for
I
the
know,
victims of
I
it, but
know what
like,
you're saying.
Jesus Christ, the internet's 10 for 10.
Yeah. Okay. So poor taste. I shouldn't even have brought this up. Yeah, but so what happens though if you are associated, your name is tied to this list? Do you get in trouble?
No, but again, it's someone having a conversation where your name is mentioned.
Yeah, I know. I understand that, but I'm saying,
doesn't
what happens
say-
if my name is mentioned and me doing some lewd things in a plane with underage people? Do I then get in trouble?
You get known as someone who did lewd things in a plane with someone.
But there's no one there to press charges anymore, right? Like it doesn't.
Who's the victims have to press charges.
Got it.
Yeah, and then that would just say, hey, this is this
So
person.
this is just kind of like chisme. Like everyone's really intrigued because they just want to know who was there.
Yeah. And then for some places, it's confirming suspicions where people are like, I wonder if that, Prince Andrew was there. And it's like, oh, yeah, he's mentioned a whole bunch of times that he was there and he did this. And like the Clinton thing where they said, well, when was Clinton at the island? They're like, Clinton's never been at the island. But his name was mentioned a whole bunch of times. And then Jeffrey Epstein said, well, Clinton likes him young. But when asked, was he at the island? They're like, no, he's never been to the island. So there's things like that where it's
Right.
like, where news organizations are going to pick it apart the way that they want to tell a story,
Right.
But
nobody is actually going to jail. Like no one else is getting in trouble.
as of right now, no, because these are court documents that were made. If I read it correctly, these are documents that are unsealed that were part of the lawsuit from the younger girl who filed the original suits. She was going to work at Mar-a-Lago and they hired her away. And
Right.
she was
And since then, it's all been closed.
anyway.
Well, that's one rabbit hole.
Speaking of special counsel probes, special counsel probe uncovers new details about January 6th and the inaction of the president at the time. Former Trump aide Nick Luna told federal investigators that when Trump was informed that the vice president, Mike Pence, had to be rushed to a secure location, Trump responded. What do you think he said? They ran in. They're like, hey, it's getting real out there. They're going to have to move into a special location.
Okay. How do you respond?
2 words. So what?
Okay.
That's what he said. So what?
Oh,
Hey, they're trying to kill your vice president. So what?
he didn't care.
Didn't care.
Well, he doesn't seem to care about
After
very much.
unsuccessfully trying for up to 20 minutes to persuade the president to release some sort of calming statement, Scavino and others walked out of the dining room, leaving Trump alone, sources said. That's when, according to sources, he posted a message on his Twitter account saying that Pence, quote, didn't have the courage to do what should have been done. Some of Trump's aides then rushed back into the dining room to explain to Trump that a public attack on Mike Pence, who was currently in harm's way, was, quote, not what we need. And Trump looked at him and said, but it's true. That they tried to approach him with things, and he sat there with his arms crossed watching the coverage on TV. And they're like, you need to, even Ivanka came running down the stairs apparently and was like, you have to do something. And he didn't want anything to do with it. And that's what leads to the whole deal with Colorado and Maine. Now, both Colorado and Maine said that he is not fit to be on the 2024 ballot. So
Is it possible-
He's suing both of them, both of the people in those states who have made.
So
those
is it
states.
possible to run and just not be on the ballot in those two states?
You know, I hate to sound ignorant, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think you can be the president of the United States if you're not on all of them. But I think the question here is if he can go on the ballot for the primaries. And that's what they're looking at. They're saying, okay, well, if he's not on the primaries, then he can't be. If he's not on the primaries, if the parties
Right.
from the individual states don't elect him to run on their behalf, then he can't run as president. And so that's why now some of the political parties in those states are saying, well, screw the way that we did it before. We're going to switch from doing the primaries. We're going to switch to a different way that gives us the opportunity to put him on the ballot either way.
Well, isn't that just being a weasel?
I mean, it's kind of weaselly. Speaking of Colorado, Lauren Boebert, everyone's favorite, Lauren Boebert, the Beetlejuice handjob lady. Lauren Boebert involved in a physical fight with the ex-husband in a Colorado restaurant Saturday night.
She's a classy woman.
Police reported the situation escalated when they met at the Miners Claim restaurant. Have you ever been to Miners Claim? It's like a
No.
Logan's. It's so good, though.
Is it?
Yeah. So basically, Lauren Boebert was at a low-end steakhouse, and they got into a fight. Once again, the lady who's known for...
I'm telling you, she's a classy woman.
Dude, oh, she's all class, man.
Groping out in public and getting in fisticuffs.
In other exciting news, a little free Blockbuster has emerged. You know how people do the little free libraries and they put the
Yeah.
books out there? Someone did a little free Blockbuster in Los Angeles.
But what are you playing on? What are you putting out there?
It's like a little shack with movies.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. So they go put DVDs in there, or they
Yeah,
go put VHS tapes,
That's
and then
pretty
how
cool,
do you
right?
play them? Hey, Drew, do we have a DVD player?
It's on the Xbox.
Okay, but we don't actually have a DVD player.
No, we don't have a VHS player either.
No. I don't have any VHS tapes, I don't think.
I love a Blockbuster night. Speaking of, what was that? So you know where that was going to go. That you were watching some show on Netflix last night
I
called...
don't even know what it's called.
It was called something. It was like, made for 14-year-olds. And our daughter's 11 and we were watching it. And all of a sudden they're like...
Well, no, I put
Tori
it...
Amos's album Little Earthquakes is all about orgasms, and I'm like, oh shit, what?
So I don't know what I put on. I was trying to find a family-friendly show. I'm really having difficulty here trying to figure out what we can watch together as a family. And this one
And
was
then
like
they walk
it was
in.
like a throwback. Whatever. The show was like a throwback to in the early 90s, 2000s, and I was like, oh, okay, well we can watch this. I thought it was going to be, I don't know.
And then they walk into the garage and they're like, oh, these are my dad's VHS tapes. I've never watched them. I wonder what's on them. I was like, turn that shit off right now.
Yeah,
I
you,
was like,
you
know
like
what?
sounded the alarms and everybody needs to get out of the living room now.
I know exactly what the hell is on those VHS tapes. You turn that shit off.
I've seen the VHS tapes. Turn it off.
What was it called?
I don't know what it was called.
It's like a coming of age show.
I don't know, but we started it and we got like a whole 10 minutes in before you shut down the party.
Well, yeah, because they're talking about orgasms and sex tapes.
Whatever. It had a lot of really great music.
It really did. What was it called, though?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I have no idea. I'll look it up
We
later.
were worthless this morning.
I am. Okay, well, I came inspirational and now I'm just kind of like blah, 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 blah.
Fucking God.
Get off the internet.
Dude, for real, man. Like,
Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets.
that's how magnets work, dog. Just put some water on them.
It's funny.
Boom.
It's funny. Maybe
Boom.
he's just a funny guy.
Maybe he meant electromagnets.
Maybe he's just a funny guy.
I don't know.
We did have a friend that called him charming.
I think, but I'm not gonna disagree
You think
with
he's, like,
him being
personal and
charming. Dude, he
charming?
has to be. You can't get to where he got without being able to charm.
I've never met him,
Can't
so
get
I
it.
have no
You
idea.
can't get it. If you're a fan, he's got to be.
But is he charming when you're not a fan?
No. But if you're if you're at his resort, or if you're playing golf with him, or if you're in the White House with him, or whatever it is, yeah, dude, if you're in his inner circle, I'm sure he is a fascinating person to be around. Absolutely. I've worked with people like him before, where you look at me and go, God, your politics are putrid and you hate humanity and you're racist and you're a terrible person.
But you're kind of fun.
Yeah, but you're fun as shit, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
dude, I have friends who are like, we all have friends who sometimes they do things that they're maybe a little rough around the edges, but that doesn't mean that they're shitty people. It just means that that's, we've had this conversation where it's like, I don't want to know all this about my friend.
I didn't
just
really
don't
want.
wanna-
I
don't
really
wanna
didn't want
watch-
to know what you thought.
I don't want to watch the VHS tapes, but now I've seen them. You dirty bastard.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know.
All
man.
right. Well, okay.
What else?
I don't really got much going. I thought I had a whole lot going on. I don't. I'm trying to think of what else.
You want
what
to talk
hap-
about more stuff that bothers me that you don't want to talk about?
Like what? No.
The Supreme Court is allowing Idaho. The Supreme Court
No, not the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court in the
Supreme
nation
Court.
is allowing Idaho to enforce its abortion bans, quote, even in medical emergencies.
They need to stop.
Idaho makes it a
Everybody just
crime
needs to
with a
stop.
prison term of up to 5 years for anyone who performs or assists in an abortion, even in a medical emergency.
Aren't there real things to worry about?
In the case over hospital emergencies, the Biden administration has argued that hospitals that receive Medicare funds, Medicare, federal, they should be required by federal law to provide emergency care, potentially including abortion, no matter if there's a state law banning abortions in medical emergencies. However, the Supreme Court is allowing Idaho to enforce its abortion ban even in medical emergencies. What in the actual fuck?
What? I don't understand why anyone cares. Like, get out of women's business. Like, get out of there. There are bigger problems to solve. There are crimes going on in the
There are.
world. What are we doing? Why does anyone care?
Water. Let me drop it in the magnets. That's
Back
the end
together.
of the
We're back
magnets.
to
Why-
this. I don't understand. I don't understand why anybody cares.
Because
Why does anybody care what I'm doing with my body?
you're a murderer if you
Why?
have an abortion.
It's-
So my thing is like, okay, well, let them be murderers then. That's on you. That's on
That
them.
is.
Not
That's
on
on
you.
the person. I've got to live with that decision. I've got to
they
make
were-
that
They
choice.
were talking
like,
about
lay
this.
off.
So they were talking about this in church the other day. The priest was talking about this in church the other day.
Okay.
It was the whole. Oh, it wasn't even in church. It was this. It was this Instagram thing that I followed. Oh, it was so interesting. I follow
Church, Instagram. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I
pick
follow a
one,
whole bunch of
Drew.
church Instagram stuffs. You know that Instagram stuffs. You know that. You know I'm like. You
All
know I
over the
follow-
place.
Yeah, yeah. So there was this man.
Finish
The
your
way
thought.
I know I was gonna look it up because I don't want to tear it apart. But this guy gets up and he apologizes. He says, "Hey, as a Christian, I want to apologize to you. If a Christian has ever come up to you and forced their viewpoints on you as a person, I apologize for them and for us and for everyone else. It's never Christians never mean to go to someone and force what we're doing on you. And if they are, they're not following the teachings of the Bible, blah, blah, blah." And so
Right.
so he goes into this whole thing. He's talking about it. And he quotes all this scripture where it's like, dude, worry about you. The whole Bible is like, hey, you do what's best for your family. You take care of your family. You take care of you. You take care of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If people don't want to be a part of it, that's on them. Let them know that God loves them and God will take care of them, whatever. But it's on them if they don't want to follow it. And that's what I think about on this whole abortion thing. It's like, dude, okay, so you think that someone who has an abortion is a murderer. Okay, that's on them. It's not on you. You're not the
Right.
fucking judge. Like, who are you to judge someone else's actions? And I think that that's the thing that gets me with all of it. It's like, okay, even the people that are locked up in penitentiary right now, yeah, you don't want them to commit murder. Yeah, you try and stop and you try and make sure that they don't have access to do it. And it's a terrible fucking thing when they do.
Stop cursing.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, if they're going to do it, that's on them. That's not you.
Right.
You can only control your actions.
So there's two parts of that. One of it sounds so selfish, right? Like one of it is like, well, screw it. I can't do anything for the greater good. So we're just going to leave it on them. And then there's the other part that's like, well, it's none of your business. Like there's reasons why,
Like medical emergencies?
right? And we can't even begin to understand what is going through someone's mind when they have to make decisions like that.
Yes.
And so why do we try to pretend
But that's the other thing. It's
that we know better?
how what really bothers me is look, I'll be honest.
What happened? What was the follow up with the woman, with Kate?
I don't know.
Like, did she end up going to jail after she came back home?
I don't know. I don't know where she is now. Doctors have testified that her pregnancy was non-viable. Let's see. December 12th, December 15th. Kate Cox, abortion in Texas, religious freedom.
I just think it's
Yeah. I don't know. There's no update.
Like up until it happens to you, your daughter,
Yeah,
your
nobody- dude,
sister,
nobody-
your
that's-
mistress, then
Nobody
then
wants
it's-
to go through
yeah,
that.
Like then
No
it's a-
one's like, oh, I'm going to opt in for a surgical procedure. Like no one,
Yeah.
dude.
No.
Vacuum aspiration is not something that little girls grow up want to do.
No, and they're
you
not
know?
using it as a birth control method. Like it's ridiculous.
Anyway.
Which goes back to sexual education.
Oh my God, yes.
Because you had a fascinating conversation with someone
Holy moly,
about
yes,
the lack
dude.
of sexual education.
Dude, this is yes.
And it's a generational thing. So we grew up where we had sex ed in class. Like you,
We did,
you
and it was
talked about
uncomfortable,
it.
and was funny, and they said penis and vagina, and everyone laughed and cringed, and guess what? We all learned.
Yeah, you learned
We
something.
all learned because we were paying attention, because it is
And
cringy.
because the
and-
STDs are scary, and because they look really bad, and because it's not safe, and it's kind of gross, and you really should take care of your bodies. And now there's no conversation about it,
None.
and people are unaware of how sick you can actually get from having sex. People are
Yes.
completely unaware. So it's not even getting pregnant. Getting pregnant's the least of it. It's all the other things that happen. And the communal diseases that are happening between boys and girls and girls and girls and boys, because everything's fluid now and everybody's having sex with each other, that it's no longer just, the boys get this or the gays get this or the straight people get this. It's all over the place. And no one is talking to our youth.
The Texas-Mexico border region has the lowest rates of gonorrhea and secondary syphilis, but has the highest rate of congenital syphilis, according to the CDC. Congenital syphilis occurs when a mother with syphilis passes the infection onto her baby during pregnancy. There's been a sharp increase in this in Texas right now. In our area, the rate is 56%.
You shouldn't be getting syphilis.
Hidalgo
Use
County,
protection.
56.4% Hidalgo County.
And if there's something wrong, treat it. Why are we so ashamed or so embarrassed? So embarrassed that you're going to go through an entire pregnancy and not share that you're having symptoms of some kind of disease,
Dude, it's
and then
crazy.
pass it on to the baby.
So we were talking about the 2020 report has some more statistics, but we were talking about this because we were talking about sexual wellness and sexual health, and two completely different subjects tied together, but separate, but same.
Right.
And it was fascinating because we were talking about Valley AIDS Council and the work that they do, and we were talking about Access Esperanza and the work that they do, but what's fascinating to me about this is that from what I've seen, because I'm not trying to start a firefight, right?
Well, I was going to say.
Yeah. Because this isn't meant to be whatever. What I'm saying is that the group that is completely zoned in and understanding of sexual health and sexual wellness is, in my opinion, the LGBTQ group.
Right.
Because that's something that they live with every single day. Because some of the diseases, HIV and AIDS, got their start in some of these communities, and it's not just for those communities though, but
No, it's not.
it's everybody. But
Right.
the LGBTQ group is more aware of sexual health, sexual wellness, sexual being than any other group because it's something that they live with. It's something that
Well, I think it's
that-
because
that is
perhaps
part of their lives.
Perhaps that group of people just talks about it more. And
Maybe
there's
they do.
nothing wrong with
Absolutely.
talking about it.
But then you get the heterosexual group, right, that doesn't have these conversations, that isn't talking about sexual wellness and sexual health. And so you get comments that are made where these groups just don't have the deep understanding that the LGBTQ group does. And to me, I've seen that divide. Like you look at it and you go, okay, well, Planned Parenthood, Access Esperanza, all those groups, dude, they're passing out condoms. They're freely and openly talking about it. We went to the gala. It wasn't like
the South Texas Reproduction
it
Group.
wasn't like a funny conversation. It was just like a real, like we're having a real conversation
Right.
about this. The Zonta from Hidalgo County, like just really talking about these things in the open.
And those, and I remember the keynote speaker or the
Yeah,
speaker
yeah,
there
yeah.
talked about how
Lifetime Achievement Award.
how she got her start from it because she couldn't talk about it. There was no one to talk about sexual health with. And,
That's right.
And she wasn't a single woman that was going out being promiscuous. She was a married woman and was looking for different ways to not get pregnant.
Yeah.
Right? She was looking for what contraceptives are available so that I don't have another child right now because we're not ready.
Yeah.
And coming from that perspective, that's a heterosexual couple and they're trying to not have a baby. And no one was talking about the preventive measures. And so that's where she got her start and how she wanted to learn more and to teach people more and all that other stuff. And that's where I go back to it, where there's no reason why women today should be in situations that they can't control. Why aren't we being more, I don't know, careful about our bodies? Why aren't we being the ones that are just carrying the condoms? If we're going to do it, sex, everybody is having sex. There's no stigma behind that.
What?
Everybody has sex.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
We've done it.
I mean, I think so. At least twice. But that's what I'm saying, is that why is it such a dirty thing to talk about? Just be open about it and be careful.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that
And again, you know, put your guidelines. And only a parent can determine those guidelines for their child. But have conversations before they start having them with their friends, before they start inquiring with their friends.
For real.
Have the conversations before they start experimenting with their friends.
But this is, and you're talking about something that really hits home. I mean, you and I know this. We're talking about sixth graders, sixth and seventh graders in public school. And we only have,
and to be fair, in all schools, it's not just public school.
But I think that those conversations, if you're not having these conversations with your children by sixth grade, is this the time?
You should.
You and I have had this, and I'm not trying to push what we do on other people.
No.
We had this conversation with our daughter last year. From fifth going into sixth, we had to. We were forced into that, though.
Right. There was and again, not coming from a sexual. She's not a sexual thing. It was a misinformation.
Yeah.
She had some misinformation that she repeated. She had misinformation that she repeated that left her really confused. And if we hadn't talked about it out loud, then she'd still be very confused as to what that misinformation was, right? So when you have 10 and 11-year-olds trying to share what they know, which is totally normal, right? Like, ooh, I found out this, or I learned this, right? You're sharing misinformation because it's not entirely accurate. And then now now that we have so many different groups, right? Like people who identify as different things and different sexualities and all of that other stuff, you're having even more misinformation. The kids are genuinely really confused as to what am I attracted to? Who am I? What am I? And there's so much more conversation to be had. We didn't have these conversations when we were young.
Well, but this is what you're talking about. We had sex ed in schools.
Well, but sex ed was different. It wasn't about.
Right. They didn't cover a lot of the stuff.
No, they covered gonorrhea
today.
and pregnancy.
But they showed you what it looked like, which made you want to protect yourself.
Right. and everywhere that there could have been free love and sex happening, there was condoms everywhere, right?
So,
like we grew up in the generation where spring break, there was condom bowls everywhere, right? And it wasn't a promotion, go out and have crazy sex, but it was like, if you're going to have sex, you be smart about it.
Yeah. And I think this goes back to the whole, when I look at the groups that are informed versus the groups that are uninformed, when you look at the hetero population out there, who's doing something to make sure that information like this gets out there? Because if we're not doing it in schools, and parents are too shy to talk about it, and the kids are learning about it on TikTok and YouPorn and everywhere else, then is that part of the reason why?
And oh my God, have a conversation with your kid before they get on porn.
Yeah,
like
dude.
that is not an instruction video.
Because that's what
sex.
That's what all the studies are showing, right? Is that you have kids who think that the way that they should treat women is the way that Hammerjack on the internet is treating women, and it's just not.
That's not reality.
I mean, it takes a while to get into it, but I don't.
Hammerjack is for expert level.
Expert level.
You're ridiculous. But anyway, make light of it. We can joke about it. It doesn't have to be a crazy, intense conversation.
Well, but the thing is,
just be informative. Porn on the internet is scary. You don't want them Googling things before you get a chance to let them know.
Well, but
hey,
it's so Jack Harlow has that track out, and then even the new Mean Girls, it's what they mention in the trailer. What's the
aggressive sex?
Yeah. What's the lyric?
It's
where he says,
you shouldn't be doing that at.
He says, "I'm vanilla, baby. I don't like whips and change. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby. I'll choke you." It's like, I don't want my fucking daughter listening to some dude talking about I'll choke you.
Well, that's
Come
what
on,
I'm saying,
man.
is that it's everywhere. And before they start Googling what this means, we should be having conversations with our children about it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, don't let their friends, what does this mean?
Okay, but how
let their little minds.
How do you protect against
Well, no,
that.
the
One of
the
top-
conversation's going to happen.
And it's a
They're
jam.
going to be
It's like
exposed.
a top track, you know?
But when you start actually getting down to what that means, I'm hoping that I've given her a foundation of understanding what sex actually is
It's not, but it's not.
before you
honey,
start
but-
getting into these,
But it's not even
genres.
that. It's not even that. It's that fast forward 2 years down the road or whenever she starts making out with dudes and that normalizes it. That makes it like that's something that she's already heard. So she's already aware. She
But
already knows it's there.
okay,
and
but
when
our
it
gen-
happens, she's going to be like, well,
But our generation had big booty hoes and, all
I
sorts
love
of.
big booty.
You know what I'm talking about. It had lyrics. The lyrics are going to be everywhere. We can't control that. That's just kind of what it is. Mainstream puts up these things, and it does normalize them, and it does make it.
But imagine,
it
I mean,
makes
we were
it-
watching the movie about Elvis, and it's like, dude, the guy shook his hips, and people freaked out. And now this guy's talking about, I'll choke you. And it's like, there's a big difference between shaking your hips and choking
What's happened
someone.
from then to now, right?
I'm just saying it's normalized a little bit. So this again goes back to sexual conversations.
Right.
It's what's normal, what's not normal.
And that's just sex. We're not even talking about the actual being safe about it, right? That's the other thing is that you get all these kids together and everybody's just doing everybody and no one's wearing a condom.
And that's why we have the high rates of everything that we do. So
Yeah. Anyway, have conversations with your children, as cringy as it is, as uncomfortable as it is. It's been very uncomfortable to have these conversations. And as we grow and learn, we try to stay on top of it. And the very least we can do is have a home where it's not a big deal. Let's just talk about it.
that point that you make though about why women aren't more protective of their stuff, carry the condoms, everything. That goes both ways. I mean, I don't see it as it's not a woman's issue. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
you're
no,
the one,
it's
you're
not
the one
just
with the
a-
vagina.
no, right.
Take
So-
some accountability for your vagina. But I think, guys, you've got the dick. Take some accountability for that as well. Like, be
absolutely.
Be ready. Like,
but I can't wait on you.
but the problem
to
is
be smarter.
Well, that's the thing. Is the problem is that we live in a society where the system punishes the female for the actions of a female and a male. So the guy gets to walk away, and you can't go even in emergency situations, take care of something that might kill you, and the guy just gets to walk. That's my problem with the whole thing. It's like, why is it that because I have a penis, I can just walk away
Are you ready for what I'm going to tell you?
and be like, later, dude, like
Right.
your problem, not mine.
Are you ready for
And
what
then,
I'm about
and
to
then guys
say?
can
Hold on.
sign off their parental rights
Hold
and be
on.
like, your problem, deal with it.
Sex is a huge responsibility. It's not fun and games. It is a huge responsibility between two people.
Yeah.
And we need, and I'm not saying that
But hold on, dig
Be-
into that.
be responsible
but
for
hold on.
yourself.
Responsible to who? That's my question.
Be responsible to yourself.
Because guys get to walk away. There's no responsibility, and we live in a society that has drilled that in.
Okay, so by this
that, you know
argument,
what?
by
if
this
two
conversation,
people get together and they end up pregnant, that we live in a society where the guy can not only take a walk and sign away parental rights and walk away scot-free, but the woman gets punished and could die in medical emergency situations because of that. I don't understand how that's fair. I don't
it's
understand
not
how
fair. No,
how
it's
that's-
not. It's absolutely not
Well,
fair. But
why-
it's never been fair.
But I don't understand how, like, why is this a bigger issue?
Because
Why-
anatomy didn't make it fair. A woman carries the baby. It is what it is. It's not. I
don't know.
for us to.
We could argue about this all
to
day.
reinvent any of it. It's just a responsibility that we have, and my urgency with it is take that responsibility for yourself. Whatever that
Don't-
looks like. I'm not saying
Don't
practice
rely on
abstinence.
someone
I'm
else
just
to be
saying
responsible. I
don't
got
wait for the dude or for whomever to care or to be responsible for you. You're responsible for yourself.
That's unfair, but it's real.
It's the truth. I can't ever rely on somebody else completely taking care of me. I hope that my husband loves me. I hope that my husband takes care of me, but I have to be prepared to take care of myself as well.
I agree.
Oh my God.
Well,
And on that note,
on that
it's
note,
time to go.
It is time to
It's
go.
time to go. Happy 13-year anniversary.
Happy 13-year anniversary.
Whoa, that got a little heated.
It did. You know, but if there's one thing I know,
Give it magnets. Now, all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets.
I'm going to find 2 magnets today and stuff them in your suitcase.
the actual anyway. Happy anniversary.
Yeah,
babe.
happy anniversary.
Next week, you
can do it.
Yes, I'll be in New York. You'll be in McAllen. Yeah,
Or I can do it.
whatever. You can come over.
I can have a guest.
Oh, hey, this might be the last
From the
podcast from the studio.
No, we have a week when you get back.
Bum bum bum.
All right. Well, it's time to go.
Okay,
It's 9:30.
this is 9:30. Have a wonderful week.
It was good to see you before you leave.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We had a bunch of people on Instagram. We got some comments coming on. Our loyal Linda is on there.
I didn't see any
as usual.
comments.
No, loyal Linda is on there.
Oh, there you go. And better access to healthcare. You are correct, Linda. We need to have conversations, sexual education, and better access to healthcare.
Totally agree.
There we go.
Totally agree. Events coming up in the Rio Grande Valley. Anything cool?
I'm sure. Yes. Oh, we have a Junior League Shaken Not Stirred is coming up.
Oh yeah, man, that MC that they have, dude, is so hot.
He's so swoony.
So hot.
He's
He's
so
like
tall.
The hottest.
So
He's
tall and
funny. He's
swoony.
got awesome dad jokes. Man,
I
ladies.
don't know why they ask you to do this.
I mean, I can't help it. You
Can't
know,
help
they
it.
I'm just saying, ladies, make sure leave your husbands at home.
Oh my goodness.
I'll be emceeing Shaken Not Stirred Friday, February 3rd. Is it Friday, February 3rd? It's February 3rd.
I hope so, because I don't know.
Anyway, leave your husbands at home,
You're
he says.
ridiculous. No, bring the husbands.
Just bring their wallet.
Yeah, we need the wallets.
Is it just the husband's wallet, though?
No.
Like, women can earn money, too. Speaking
here we
of,
go.
$5 million.
Oh my God. Speaking of that Lamborghini we saw the other night.
Another one. Lamborghini SUVs in the Rio Grande Valley. We've got Maybachs, we've got Bentleys, we've got Lambos, we've got
I got to get a better job. What is
the Bugatti
happening?
in the valley is what's
You know
driving
what?
me
I want to
nuts.
be like that interviewer that goes around asking when they see the people driving
What
those
do
really
you
fancy.
do?
What is it
Like,
that you do?
You can't do that shit in the valley. Be like, what do you do? Be like, I bone old dudes.
That is not a right thing to
I'm
say.
a Sancha. I'm a professional
You
Sancha.
don't know if that
They
is
could be
true.
young. You're right. They could be young.
She could be a music producer. You didn't even know.
I mean, I know a few music. Speaking of, I'm so excited. I have my first foray.
what I did? I
in
led you right
music.
into that.
You did into music production. I can't wait. You know, I'm gonna outro with this song. Look, guys, look. This is the jam. This is my jammy jam. Look. There he is. Listen to this jam, y'all. This is the jam that's been
We should
living
have been
in,
off 3 minutes.
I know,
ago.
that's been living in my head. It's called The Good Life. It's by my buddy Leo Garcia, who this was such a cool voice, old school mariachi guy, just a fun, all around fun time to hang out with. He wrote this song called The Good Life, and I'm trying to help him figure out how to make it even bigger than it is. Anyway, we're gonna outro with this, but I'm just gonna let it play because I'm gonna jam out to it. If you're cool
Okay.
with it. Okay. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful week. Here's The Good Life by Leo Alejandro Garcia. A little bit of 90s country vibe.
Oh, I love me some 90s country.
But this is like, but here comes the accordion. This
Yeah.
is so South Texas, man.
Cold beer on a Friday night. Some George Strait to get it started right. And oh, yeah, we're gonna drink tonight.
Drink some coffee tonight.
Backyard barbecue shots up a throne.
All right, I'm out.
Singing old songs.
Love you, babe.
from Haggard and Jones. All right, let's hear little mama try. Arriba para abajo pa el centro y pa dentro. Salud, celebrating good life. Arriba para abajo pa el centro y pa dentro. Salud, a Texas party tonight. Wasted days and wasted nights. Tequila, mezcal, Freddie Fender kind of night. And oh yeah, before the next teardrop falls, it's 2 a.m., time to take it home. When Chente kicks on with a country no sonora. We're drinking till daylight. Pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro. Y pa' dentro. Salud.
I'm telling you, that's a jam.
Celebrating good life. Arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro. Y pa' dentro. Salud. South Texas party tonight.
You know what would sound really good on this track would be a female vocalist. If only I knew a female vocalist.
Down that border, baby, born and raised. Got the best of both worlds. I say I got it made.
Oh, love you too, Mom. Thank you.
Play that accordion till I die. It's 6 a.m. and I'm almost gone. When tragos de amargo licor kicks on, well, alright. Ramon Ayala tonight. Arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro. Y pa' dentro. Salud. Celebrating good life. Arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro. Y pa' dentro. Salud. South Texas party tonight. Arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro. Y pa' dentro. Salud. Celebrating good life. Arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro. Y pa' dentro, salud. South Texas party tonight. Salud. Celebrating good life.
Dude, I'm telling you. Leo. Oh, Leo. Always got a good jam out there. Anyway, have a wonderful week.